Here we are, post 2 mile walk. Gonna do a pretty easy functional Sunday. Push-ups, crunches. We're gonna use the kettlebells to work on lower back. So I'm gonna be doing 20 reps. Eric will probably do 15 on the push-ups. When we're done with that, we're gonna do some hanging ab work and some bicep work. We'll probably take a minute rest. We should do 5 quick rounds. So here we go. If you don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, grab a gallon of milk. Something along those lines. A little bit of weight. Trying to keep things moving. We won't bore you with all 5 rounds. We'll come back when we're doing the other stuff. Besides, Erica doesn't want me to do all 5 rounds. She might get tired. All right, round 2. Amateur ab work. Erica's not a big fan of these.
I'm getting a little better, but it's still tough. Ah.
They're good for your soul. We'll work the obliques the next round. She's going to show you she can do it now. And the camera isn't on. It's just sandbags.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, it's hard.
I try not to die in here.
So, we'll do about 5 sets of this. That'll be it for Sunday. 2 mile walk, 5 rounds of push-ups, crunches, some rows, low back, and 5 rounds of this. It's easy. If you don't have a curl bar, use your gallons. If you don't have that, do some more sit-ups. Like, it's pretty simple. Well, there, you got clips of the beginning of the first 5 sets and the beginning of the last 5 sets. I'm going to tell you guys, she works out every day, has with me for 6 years. And if you ever want her to shut up, do stuff like that where it's non-stop. Unless your woman is like a marathon runner or whatever, we do this. Usually we get about to the 3rd round. I'm like, gee, it's kind of quiet. You okay? And I just get a look. Yeah, kind of like that.
That you do.
It's kind of fun.
I was working.
We did good
No
today.
time for chat.
You did good with your last 2 sets of ab work.
Oh, it's hard.
Those
I
are,
might have cussed a little.
yeah, a couple F-bombs. Yeah, so, but anyhow, all that stuff, besides the hanging ab work, you can figure it out. You can do curls with your milk jugs. You can do the back stuff with your milk jug, or a couple bricks, or, I don't know, surely you got something that weighs 5 or 10 pounds laying around. Like, and when we do this on Sundays, it's usually about repetition. We're not trying to build massive amounts of muscle. It's about getting your heart going so you feel good. And you do this kind of stuff daily, just mix it up a little bit. We'll keep throwing in different things here and there. I mean, like with the kettlebells, you get 2 or 3 of those. If you decide you want to buy some of those, get some that you can swing, get some that are heavier that you can do some leg work with once you get used to it, and use them for different things. Not to mention all the arm and shoulder stuff you can do with them.
Yeah.
And ab work and whatever. So, but yeah, it's all about moving your body. We didn't get any takers yesterday for leg day. Bunch of suckers. It's probably good you didn't come because you might have died. Because my legs are still pretty sore. And it takes a lot for me to get very sore anymore, it seems like.
You did a lot though.
So, yeah. I'm trying to focus on doing more reps and a little less weight. Got a little gung-ho the other day. Bench 265, felt really good until that night. And my shoulder's been aching for days. It felt good enough today to do push-ups without any pain. But I'm like, I want to stick with 225. It's probably my highest weight for a while. You know, until next Saturday when I feel good again or something. I'm kind of thick-headed.
Just a little.
It's hard to let it go. It really is. So, I just hope I don't. Hopefully I'm smart enough to not injure myself too bad. A little muscle tear doesn't really bother me. And I was going to do the push-ups today whether it hurt or not. I'm not saying that's the best advice in the world, but sometimes you just got to work through the pain if you want to keep going. Or find a different exercise. Like if I go to bench, tomorrow's bench day, if it hurts to bench, which it did 3 days after I hurt it, instead of benching I did dumbbell presses with less weight, because then you can kind of work around it a little. Again, I'm not saying that's the smartest thing to do, but that's how I operate. I can't miss that group of muscles unless I'm like in a body cast or something. So ask Erica, when I tore my elbow off and he's like, don't do anything, like 4 days later I'm out here with the 10-pound dumbbell and they had this gadget on my arm where I could only move it a little bit. So I'm like, well, this is for pushing. All this is fine. So I take the 10-pounder and I pick it up a few inches and kind of flex and then let it go back down. She was like, what are you doing? I'm like, it has nothing to do with my tricep. And of course I didn't tell the doctor. And I'd go every 2 weeks and he'd give me a little more range of motion, a little more range. And I keep doing a little bit more on my curls. Not necessarily much more weight.
Right.
I mean, like, but, so I go towards, he said, you know, about the 12th week we'll be able to get rid of this thing. You should be doing good. I'm on week 10 and he's like, how's your arm? And he takes everything off and he's like, straighten it out. And I straighten it out. He's like, it feels really good. And he's a young doctor, so pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Into new stuff and pretty progressive. I said, well, Doc, I said, can I be honest with you? He's like, well, yeah, that'd be good. I said, I've been doing curls since about day 4, just with really light weight. He's like, well, it looks great. He's like, you haven't been pushing? I said, no, I said, I figured it just to stretch it out a little bit, and I said, I just like working out. And he just kind of shook his head. He said, well, whatever you do is working, so just keep at it. He's like, you're good to go. He's like, I was done. Don't even have to go back. I mean,
You had very little scar tissue.
yeah, very little buildup. So, and I attribute that, not a doctor, but like, if I'd have not moved it, it would have just got more rigid. That's how I look at it. So, anyhow, it worked for me. I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to your doctor. I'm not saying you shouldn't do what they say. I'm kind of stubborn. So far, it's worked out. So, I have this thing too. The sign on the doctor's wall says they're practicing medicine. It's not an exact. A lot of it's not an exact science. So I'm like, well, it's my body. So I'm going to practice too. So, anyhow. Maybe helping kids move next Saturday morning. We'll organize that throughout the week. But we'll do some sort of crazy leg thing next Saturday afternoon. We'll to be determined what time. But if some of you grow up here or whatever and want to come over and have some fun,
Let us know.
you know where we're at. You know where to find me on Facebook, or leave a message on the YouTube link, and we'll have a good time. We'll do another 200 or 300 reps of squats before we do the other leg stuff. Trust me, it's fun. It's a little torturous, but it's fun. Everybody have a great Sunday. You got anything?
No, that's it.
You don't talk very much. But she does.
I'm
She
just
talks a
excited.
lot, just not in front of that.
Happy Sunday.